How you doing, YouTube's Willful Development? This is my 408th weekly update. Exciting news, just today, actually, I am officially signed up in the lightweight men's open division for Florida's Strongest Man. Miami's Baddest Man holds a special place in my heart because it was my first, sanctioned strongman only competition I ever did. I did as a novice in, 2016, might even been 17, but the real place I got my start in strongman was volunteering as a spotter loader, mostly as a loader back then, for Florida's Strongest Man in about 2014. Started getting reinterested in athletics in about 2013, which is about a year after I graduated. And then discovered Strength Camp, Elliott Hulse, all that. Did the challenge there in 2013, I think. Maybe even late. Yeah, I think it must have been 2013. Because I think it happened in around in November or something like that. And boy, what a shit show that was. Not the show itself, I mean my performance. I think there was 72 novice competitors or something like that, and I ended up 70th or something like that. Man, to go back now and do it again, I would destroy it now. Everything about me is different. The training I would have done would have been different. I remember at that time, I think the farmers were 180 a hand or something like that. And my God, I've done 250 a hand in comps now, and even that doesn't scare me anymore. The national grip record holder for 220 a hand. You know what I mean? So it's wild to think back on those comps. And I met a guy, Nate, and he was the only person who paid me any half of a mind while I was there competing. First athletic anything I'd ever done. And he was just so cool and nice, and I recognized him from some of Elliott's videos. And he said, there's this strongman thing. I was like, strongman, that sounds cool. That's that stuff on TV, right? And he said, yeah. And I remember I had tried to make an Atlas stone a couple months before the show, and it was awful. And he introduced me to the gym out there in Davenport, and then I did a little training session with him. And then I ended up going to Florida's Strongest Man that year, which happens in December every year. And I ended up just there to volunteer help, loading. And that's really how I got my start in the sport, was between spotting and loading, and just volunteering at the comps. And then making stones, starting in about 2014. Yeah, so we're at 8 years right now, which is crazy to think. And then, fast forward, here we are in, 8 years later, and I'm finally going to be competing in it. And the reason I'm doing it is because didn't do it last year, and I saw the weights for the show last year, and I kind of got mad at myself because I'm like, man, this is the first year. And in my defense, I didn't really look before the show, but after the show I looked and I went, damn, none of those weights scare me. I would have probably still zeroed the press, but the rest of it I could have done and actually been kind of competitive at a couple of those events. And I was sort of mad at myself that I didn't even bother to look to even think about signing up, because Florida's has always been just that thing I'll never be able to do because I'm not strong enough. And then, looking at it last year, I was like, man, I could have totally been okay. I probably would have won, but I would have been all right. And then cut to this year, I saw the event announcements, the actual events announced for the show, and kind of started picking my brain to think about what's this going to be, what's that going to be, what's this going to be, weights and how it's going to be laid out. And then the event dropped. I signed up. Right now I'm the only lightweight signed up. I know that'll change. A lot of really good lightweights always do that show, so I'll have plenty of competition to test myself against. And the great news is the weights, and it's not because they're lighter, it's because I've just gotten stronger. And everything but the dumbbell, it really is going to be me just thinking, how fast can I get this done? Or how many reps can I really do of this event? Because I can handle all the weights, which kind of blows my mind. For the first time ever, I'm looking at Florida's, and it's just like, yeah, I can handle all that, except for the dumbbell. But I'll be ready game day. I need my revenge on that. You know, this is 2 years running now that I have zeroed the dumbbell, and I just cannot. I cannot let that shit happen again. It just, I refuse, because of all of the overhead events, I'm pretty good at dumbbell, like relatively proficient. I pick it up pretty quick, so it's just one of those, man, to zero it at the Scorcher this last August, that just fucking hurt. Pissed me off, honestly. Like, I'm never really, really mad about zeroing shit. I'm usually just like, well, you know, we kind of saw it coming, or, all right, well, we'll get better. But that one, I was like, fuck, I hit it in training. I should have been able to do it, you know. No excuses. It was what it was, you know. Obviously, I wasn't prepared as I thought I was. So, not going to let that happen again. I intend to not zero the press at this show. I've got a good 12 weeks to get ready for it. The other events, I mean, other than the deadlift is going to be shitty, but it's mostly a lockout, which is what I'm good at on deadlift. It's about the only thing I'm good at on deadlift, compared to other people. 13 inches is always just a son of a bitch height to pull from, but at least it's with a regular barbell and not an axle, so he took mercy on us. The yoke, interesting yoke into farmers event, very interesting event. Basically going to run the yoke down, grab the farmers, run those back. No, I'm sorry, run the farmers, run back, grab the yoke. No, I think it's run the farmers, pick the yoke, run that, turn around, run the yoke back, and then run the farmers back. So you're doing 40 feet 4 times total with each implement in a minute. Going to be tough. That's going to be a speed event. And luckily, I mean, the farmers handles are 225, and then the yoke itself is 525, I think, which is pretty light for lightweight men, but it's one of those, like, you've got 15 seconds basically per movement to make this happen. So your transitions need to be fast. You need to be fast. They have slide penalties, of course. So it's one of those, pick your heights right and keep it moving. Don't no mistakes. And hopefully there's more than 3 guys this time. So even if it'll be that whole thing where if I just finish it, I'll probably still get third, because other guys will probably make mistakes. Only 1 drop per, like, thing, too, which is pretty wild. Sandbag over a 52-inch bar. I'm used to loading a 54 to 56-inch, and it's only 200 pounds. So that's definitely going to be a rep fest. It's going to be learning pacing and really drilling that movement to just pace it as well as I can. And then a sandbag toss, which I know I won't zero. Don't know if I'll get to that 50-pound bag, but it's only 13 feet, so we'll see what happens. So anyway, I'm really excited about that. Training this week went well. You know, this week's lesson is just keep working, and eventually the things that scared you, you'll be excited for. So don't be scared. And if you are, then what's your excuse?